And we are live. I'm going to go ahead just get this out to everybody real quick, and then we will get started. Learning how to get a little
Perfect.
bit better at this, so I should be able to keep you on screen.
Okay, I'm on my mobile, so I'm actually going to try to also tune in on my computer. Right, so there.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'm going to grab the link on the PC and share this out everywhere, and then we'll get started. It's kind of a little surprise because people were like, probably didn't think I was doing this today, which is good.
Oh, when do you usually do it? I thought you do it on Sunday.
Well, I do it on Sunday, but usually set time. Today we just kind of, I was a little busy, had some shit to do. Had some errands to run. I was like, let me get these done, and then we'll get this all out to everybody.
Yeah, we'll try to see if we can set up a more consistent time in the future. But I guess it's usually around this time. Either this time or a bit earlier, actually. But yeah.
Get this shared out, and then we'll get started. Gotta get out two more places, and then we should be good for today. Hey, Insane. Thanks again for the background. Looks good. And I'm also learning, so now instead of losing our
Perfect.
co-host
Hopefully there isn't too
face,
much delay.
we should be good. Also, you may want to mute it on one end since I'll talk to you directly through Discord to avoid any confusion. So to mute that,
Yep,
yeah,
I've muted it
nice.
on
All I
YouTube.
have to do is remember just to hit the push to talk button when I'm talking to you. That's all I gotta do. Get it out on Reddit, get out one more place, and then we will get started. I think at this point we're the longest running podcast. Somehow we're the longest running because the other ones have just kind of gone off and gone on. I don't know. Am I allowed to say that?
It's good to be consistent.
I'm usually consistently inconsistent, so I guess it is good in this situation for me to be like that dude.
Dragon Quest's longest running podcast. Right here.
I said it here, and he said it too. Okay, last one out, and we should be good. Okay, so welcome to Feeding the Trolls, episode some fucking how 10. Don't ask me how we ended up here, but we are on episode 10. I have gone through now a couple of co-hosts. We're on the number 3. He's probably less likely to quit the game. Do you have any kids or a family, Tropical?
No, none of either. Just my cat for right now, and she's not going to get me to quit the game. So
Well, that would be a first. Local man quits mobile game over feline. That'd be an interesting title.
yeah, instead of buying cat food and cat litter and stuff like that, I could just be trying to max his start. You never know.
I mean, well, how many pulls would a bag of kitty litter get you?
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. That wouldn't get me shit. That'd give me a tempo.
I mean, I know what kitty litter costs for a 6 pack. I mean, do you get maybe 110 pull? I don't know. If even that, yeah, no, you wouldn't get very far with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't get very far. I just if I just wanted to chase that last tempo. But I don't know. I've been doing pretty well in this game as a low budget player, so I'm kind of happy with that.
Yeah, we're like polar opposites. I grinded the fuck out of this game, threw money at this game, threw time at this game, and you're just like, just keep playing. You're like my wife with her original account. She just gets what she wants on the rolls, and I just sit here and cry.
Yeah, I find that I had a bit of a conspiracy theory one day, but it's more of a conspiracy theory than anything. I think one of the reasons I'm so lucky at hitting banner units and shit is because I don't really chase anything. Like I don't care. The time and the money I spend in this game are pretty low, but the game just seems to keep throwing banner units at me, so it gives me more to do.
And I mean, you could be a little tinfoil hat and be like, well, maybe they're doing that to try and bait you into spending, but at the same time, it hasn't worked.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I'm on the median where I'm not. I'm a low spender. I'm a low spender, so I'm not a free to play. So they still have gotten me to spend. Just maybe they haven't converted me to that really high, which they won't no matter what they do. You know, even if they give me like six Starks and 1/10 thing, it's not going to make me go hard. You know, I have one of these things that's kind of rare in gotcha games is I have a set budget, I have a strong mentality, and I just I accept. I try to always expect the worst. Like when I did my planning, I honestly never expected to get a Stark, not in a million years. But I'm like, I have a few gems lying around. Let me just try this pay to Stark banner because he seems like a cool unit, and I got him. So I'm like, well, fuck. Now I need more orbs. Now I need more books. And the same thing happened for Bianca. I never expected to get her, and uh, it's a bit of a chore, you know. Sometimes
Oh
good
yeah,
luck can be a bit
because
of a chore.
for a while, people were like, well, why are you not stressing out about orbs? Well, I didn't have like some of the newer S units, so I just focused on what I had. And then this half anniversary comes, and now I'm scrambling to just rank up as many things as possible. It's like, well, I I got like four new S. Well, actually no, I got Kirill, Elena, Draguar, of course S Stark. We got him too. I mean Nimzo. I mean, and two of those were two orbs apiece, and well, the heroes I'm probably not going to do anything with, but that's a lot of resources. That's a lot of irises. It's a lot of extra time.
Exactly. That's how they try to rope you in.
And
They
then,
have these nice great value events to get you more units. So
oh
that's why,
yeah,
like, don't stress out.
yeah, the packs. They did some really good packs. The two orb packs with the gold and the skip tickets. Those were good. I scooped those up. And then you have people like my wife who just did like the 10 free tickets that they give you for the event, and she gets S Stark, and it's just like. And now I think she needs to do like one more day to get enough medals to awaken him. So she has an awakened one S Stark for the low price of 0. Fuck.
I don't know. Doesn't that tinfoil hat almost kind of make sense? You know, that they try to maybe mess with RNG a little bit to get you invested, try to get you into the game if they know you're not a high spender. I don't know. Maybe not.
Well, I thought that at first because literally when I played her account for the very first time and I started up the game, the first single pull ticket I did was an S rank. It was Nightclubber. Like, I'm trying to think to myself, did they give me an S rank the first ticket I did in the game? And I was like thinking, I was like, because this is so long ago, this is back in January. And
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, I feel like I did get an S off a single pull. I don't remember what it was, but I feel like I did get some sort of S from the generic pool. And I was just like, huh, that's interesting. And then, of course, after they give you the first hit, it gets a lot harder to get that next S out of that single pull.
yeah, it's true. And you look at I don't know over Facebook more, but people post their starting accounts, and you look at the shitload amount of S ranks they've got, and I don't know, a pattern almost becomes clear.
Well, it's definitely they've made it easier for people to pull because the consistent thing about the half anniversary is that's the best part of it. Generally, people who didn't spend, I mean, they were saving up for this event. They were saving up for banners. They weren't able to actively pull on things, and then these new people come in. You can get about 30 to 40K, maybe a little bit more off of the story and all the events and everything going on right now, and you could just go pull crazy, and you're pulling for the half anniversary banner. That's like a grab bag. It's everything, and you're willing to hit something. I mean, you're guaranteed at least a couple S rank units from 10 of those pulls just off of the stamp itself. So it makes sense. It makes sense a lot, as opposed to everybody who was just kind of they had to skip like 7 banners just to get here, and that sucks because I mean now they got to save up for what Nocturnus at the 1 year mark. He's going to be the next guy that you're going to want to get, and I'm sure a lot more new people come in towards the year mark and just do the same thing because why not? It's heck, even making a new account, just messing around with it, you get the pull. Because I feel like a lot of people like pulling on the accounts. Like I'll go over to my wife's account, and be like, here, I'll pull these tickets for you. I got this. I got this. Let's see what I get. And it's cheaper than me spending my own money to pull more.
Good point.
Where you from? Tropical Darkwing wants to know. He's taking some interest in you.
No, sure, that's good. I'm from Romania. Came here when I was young, so I lost the accent, but yeah, Bucharest, Romania is where I'm from.
Oh damn. So that's why you and Pat get along. You're like neighbors.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Get along well, kind of same culture, kind of same family style.
Now speaking of craziness and things that are up and coming, I'm actually surprised. Now, mind you, I thought this would never fucking happen, but guilds did get announced in Japan for the November update. We are officially, at some point for global, I don't know if we'll see them at the same time or a little bit earlier. We are gonna see we are gonna see guilds, and also they're curious where you live now. I know you live in the states or something because you're kind of like on a similar time zone.
Oh no, I'm where I live now. I should have said that too. No, I'm a Canadian. I live in Alberta. Pretty fucking cold up here.
Well, at least the Tim Hortons will keep you
Like,
warm.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's crazy because I've been asking for guilds for a long time. Suki had brought up guilds at one point. I mean, now it's just along the lines of the closer we get, is there going to be a cap on these guilds? What are they going to do with them? Because that community keeps people playing. Like this Discord we have, that's kept a lot of people from quitting because they could just come on here, bullshit around. They've had a rough day. They'll quit the game. They'll come back, put a retired tag on, and go another round and do some cooking videos. If you know who I'm
It's nice.
talking about, it is
It
funny.
seems like an oddly specific example, you know. I'm sure not everyone does that.
Sure, not everybody makes cooking videos after they quit the game.
Yeah,
Uh, he'll be back. I feel like he'll play again someday too.
maybe. Yeah, and he isn't. I don't think he's like I don't know about his spending habits. I don't think he's a huge whale or anything. Like he might be able to come back easily without wanting to be anywhere near the top, right? Like if you're somehow that's a high spender, high time on this game and you quit, then you're pretty much done, right? Because you're a competitive guy, and even a week gone in this game can be like a lifetime to you.
Oh yeah, because that's resources gone, especially with the campaigns going on right now, where
Yeah.
you're getting if you can, and you have the ability to farm the fuck out of either irises or hard mode materials because they are 2x on both of those, and you do need an insane amount of materials from hard mode to get rank 7, and that's going to basically be the same as rank 6 for those materials, plus a new material that's going to be out of the same stages for rank 7. There's no more orbs. You don't need any of that. So, I mean, I'm going to rank up all my Dark Lords. They're all S6, and that's another, 16 a pop for the hard mode materials. So I've got to get like over 100 hard mode materials because Malroth and Hargon are coming soon. So I got to get them up to 6. So I am farming the fuck out of these stages, as you should, because I don't think they're going to be doing hard mode 2x again anytime soon. This is like the first time they're doing that, and it's nice to see them do like extra campaigns or different ones as opposed to because everybody has seen the tomes. Tomes has come and gone. The rank ups come and gone. They've even done the XP and the gold up once or twice before. So it's like if you're sleeping on this, don't just go in there. And if you're trying to buy the hard mode story items out of the shop, only buy them if you can't do the stage. Like if you can't do the Dark Lord stage at the very end, buy those materials because if you want to get something up. But if you can do them, It's just the rate of return on them right now doesn't make sense with the campaign. Stay away from the shop for
Yeah,
buying those materials. Buy some other things out of the shop. Stay away from the icon too, unless you use an auto clicker, because God forbid, anybody who plays this game manually gets that damn icon and buys out the shop. Like, yeah, good luck with that. That's a fucking tough one, but I would just I would farm those hard mode materials and hope you get some irises because we're all gonna need. I did the math. Just on the A ranks alone, it's another 5 a pop or whatever. I mean, we're looking at
yeah,
like
it's
what
pretty rough.
300 irises from 6 to 7 if you do like all your S's and all your A's.
It's definitely yeah. That's going to be one of the resource clogs for the CP grinders. I just wanted to point out something quick because I noticed you said something.
Yeah.
You said when you level up Hargon and Malroth, so you're assuming that you're going to get them.
Oh yeah.
Which
Huh.
are you going to
That's good.
chase hard for them?
I want one copy. I just want one copy. That's all I want. I'm not at the point where now Balroth. I'd like to have a couple of copies of them, but I've gotten to the point where I've got my core team. They're my spellcasters, my main ones. Even Dark Lord now is up to 4 after half anniversary, which is great because when Skill Bloom comes out, he'll be reinforced again. So I have 4 solid casters. I've got WK, Dark Lord, Zoma, and Baramos. I just need one more to round out the team, and it's either going to be, well, it's probably going to be Hargon, but we'll see. I like Malroth as well, but I just want one mainly for the mastery. As long as I can get the mastery bonuses to just keep pushing those guys up, I'll take it. But I'm not gonna try and max awaken or do any of that crazy shit. That's expensive. Not doing that again.
Well, what you might not be considering, and I think LT few or a week ago might be a good example of this, but it might take you 90,000 gems to get one copy, and that's sometimes something people forget. So if it's
I've
one of those
never had
things,
to go that far. Like, if I don't get it after a certain point, I will just say fuck it, and I will not proceed. That's what happened with Dragoir. That was the first time I said, this isn't worth it. I did one stamp, and I didn't get
yeah.
him, and I was like, you know what? I'll just wait for him to come back around because I'm not doing this. I don't have an extra $500 to chase on a potential one copy. It's just not happening. Now, I would love for the pity to be one stamp, like for the first unit. I've been talking
Oh
about that forever and a day, but I don't think they're ever going to do that.
no, I guess we're gonna have to settle for the 1.5 stamps that they're gonna do after 1 year, but that's actually something to let the viewers know too. And if they're like desperately chasing a unit, we've already seen the pattern with this game that if you don't get a certain unit, their celebrations or whatever are a perfect place to do that because they'll have special banner deals, they'll have like free tickets they give you, really generous stamps. So like if you really want a unit and you're at least a reasonable amount of patience, you might be able to save a lot on trying to get that one unit.
Right, because it's just, I mean, if you're chasing the leaderboards, that's cool and everything. That's great. But I have to constantly remind myself of this because I've done it before. I don't get anything out of this aside from a place on the board, and it sucks because you would think there'd be more for the amount of effort and time and money everybody's
Hmm.
thrown on this. Oh, Dark's asking, what do we predict for next week's release? So I'm hoping for DQ2. Do I think DQ2 will be out? No. I think we'll get an interim event. I think maybe Seraphy. That's what people have been saying. But what are your thoughts, Trop?
Oh man, I don't know that like this part of what Japan got is blurry to me. Did they get Dragon Quest 2 right after Dragon Quest 5?
See,
Or how did they do it?
I don't remember. And the other thing is, like, we're on some weird timeline with this game because they just do what they feel like is a better path for us to kind of accelerate us in a way. And I'm still waiting to see when we're getting the new roadmap because when they put out that roadmap, that'll give me a good idea if we're actually going to get skill blossoming towards the back end of the year.
I just man, I want the skill blossoming sooner rather than later. But it'll depend what they want to put out and how they want to do it.
Well, ideally, if they do Skill Blossom, I hope they do rank 7 at the same time because I'm in a situation where I'm almost done with leveling again. Like I after ranking everybody up, I've got 14 units to level, and none of them are Battle Road units. They all have to be done through the daily event or daily through stage grinding. But that would be awful for me, and this could happen to some people if they didn't do a new rank up and then they brought out skill blossoming, and I'm just kind of like hemorrhaging experience just to get an extra system grinded. And I mentioned that to Nib a long time ago. It's like maybe I should keep some of this stuff held back in reserve and plan for it, but then I got close to being back in like top 3 for the leaderboard, so that went to shit. Oh, good times.
I think you can do it. Everybody's so close together on the leaderboards now that just who knows, like at least in that top five range, you're only a few thousand apart.
I'm missing one unit. I'm missing the Tormented from the Giuliante banner, the A rank. If I get a card, I can bleed another 3,500 CP out of that and jump back in there. So it could happen.
Nice.
Just
That would be
waiting,
nice.
buying my time. I'm coming.
Which banner are you pulling on to get that, or you run out of chances for now?
That's so the only chance I had was from the half anniversary. It wasn't in any of the specials that they did, the little extra packs, the specials for the
Hmm.
tickets. Not enough, Drew. Not enough gold Medini. I have to save up because I was using them on irises because I needed irises badly. Like right now, I think I have about 50 irises saved, and I only need about another 200 more. So fucking kill me.
Yeah, that's a lot more. Oh man.
Yeah, because people don't realize. I mean, you know, by the time we get rank 7, we're still going to have a bunch of new units in between now and then. Probably a couple more S, maybe another 4, another 4A. And if I consistently rank all those up, which 2 of them are Dark Lords, 13 irises for one Dark Lord, so 26 for both. The A ranks are another, oh, don't get me started there, another like 6 or so. So, I mean, my reserve is already gone before rank 7 even hits if I spend it all. So, yeah. Need a lot more irises. Need a lot more.
It's a tough time, like with the economy and the planning. If you're going for that CP leaderboard, it's a tough time. Just trying to plan everything, trying to reserve everything.
I mean, I'm
Well,
already
we'll see
working
how quickly they
overtime.
throw a
Fuck.
seven at us.
Working.
We'll see how quickly they throw rank seven at us. It's probably going to be sooner than JP got it, right? Like that's at the least what I expect, and I can't remember when JP got it. So
It's definitely going to be sooner because they're put us on some sort of accelerated timetable. Now the only real question is what else do we get with it? Because when they did rank 6, they gave us, the hard mode, they gave us new story chapters. We got a lot of stuff with that update. So, I mean, we're looking at potentially it's going to be a major content update. So, I still think it's September, but that roadmap whenever they put it out, which I think is going to be they said early August, so maybe this week, maybe next week, it'll give us an idea, but if they do it later than September, I'd be very surprised. And if they do it sooner than that, uh, a lot of people are going to be caught with their pants down because I don't think a lot of folks have a good reserve right now. Like, especially if you're working up everything. I mean, how many irises do you have in reserve right now?
me, I'd say roughly like 85,
Lucky. But even then,
but I'm
that's
not.
you know that's not going to go far.
I know it's crazy, and I'm not even ranking up a lot of stuff. I don't know. I'm running out of stuff to level, so I'm being forced to rank up more stuff. But yeah,
Oh yeah, because
I'm
that's
definitely not gonna rank.
that's like the worst feeling in the world is playing through stages and you're like you always want to like try and level something up, work towards some masteries, and then
Yeah,
not many people get to this point, but you can get to a point where you have nothing to level and whatever you do just is lost experience. You just have to throw in units because you either don't have an orb at that point or I mean, I'm not going to throw orbs into hero units. I don't see any value in them. I don't know. I'm not a big hero guy, but it's like I'm not going to get an extra 10 levels on that just to keep leveling something. So I'm in a deadlock. I'm just kind of sitting back almost.
Yeah, you're a little bit screwed in that sense, in that you have to miss out on the fun EXP daily. You only get to look forward to the fragment daily and the gold daily now.
Yeah, I mean, I still, well, the only caveat to that is when I do get maxed out, I'll just throw in a bunch of Bobo units with multi hit, take the XP scrolls and the skip ticket, because at that point it doesn't matter. I'm not worried about losing the slime. Like, it's not going to do
Oh,
anything. So
so
that's
you
the
can get
only.
2 more skip tickets
Yeah,
instead of skipping it. Yeah.
yeah, so that's about it. And some free XP scrolls for later. But yeah,
Hmm.
Japan's really I mean they put out a lot of different headlines. They've got a lot of stuff mapped out for September, October, November. And the other thing I noticed is Supnock. They they've been revamping their older events, and I'm hoping. I mean, I don't know if this is going to happen, but I'm hoping the next time they do a revamped holiday event, like when Halloween will probably be the next one we'll get, that we
Hmm.
get that revamped version instead of the original version. Because I mean, Giuliante sucked. Like the summer festival, it just because of how everything was and how everything shifted. That event was dull. I mean, you grinded out the vendor ghost. You tried for a couple of rolls on the corn. You beat up Giuliante almost effortlessly. And then that was it. Like the store, like even half the things in the store weren't even worth chasing. Like it just didn't make any sense to do it. So I'm hoping we get the revamp version because it's it would just be the same thing as last time with the summer festival. We just would roll over it, just be well, we're done here. Sorry guys, that this was just kind of like a Stormfest.
I'm really hoping the same. I'm really hoping it's the revamped version. What is the likelihood of that? I don't know, because I don't even know if we're gonna get skill blossoming by then. I hope we
Right,
are though.
right, and see
But
that's the thing. If we don't get the blossoming, then we'll probably get the older version because I think that whatever they're doing, they're factoring in like everything for these revamps. So they have to retweak these events to R7 units and things of that nature. And if they do that and we don't have those updates, oh, people are going to be in a world of hurt. That's that's going to be fun.
yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, the two witches, the Halloween witch and Crystalinda, the Christmas witch, at least by themselves, Crystalinda, even without a bloom, is still really strong. Um, but I just I don't know. I definitely want to get it, but given the track record we've had, it's so impossible to predict what we're going to get now and when we're going to get it. Right? We could get Seraphine, we could get Dragon Quest 2, even though they've never done two events, like two main events back to back. So what the hell are they going to put in here? Dragon Fest, Beast Fest? I don't. I have no clue.
I mean, it could be anything. I mean, they've got a lot of side content that they could pull from. I mean, yeah, it could be Seraphie. It could even be maybe they do the Halloween event early. They give us the Bobo version now, which I wouldn't be opposed to. I mean, just to get it out of the way to say, hey, we check that box, and then a couple months from now when we do the enhanced version of it, here you go. But I just know that these filler events were never really, I don't know, they were never really fun for me because they were just something kind of quick and easy, and then you went back to just trying to like keep yourself busy on the higher end. Now for like other players who are getting new into the game and they like having this breather, that's great. But for me, it's just like you're fucking suffocating me. I need something to do. I don't want to go
Yeah,
back to hard mode story and try and farm golden serpents. Okay, that's my life. I don't want to do that. That's awful. That thing is fucking elusive.
yeah. Even I wasn't a huge fan of that event, but I didn't mind it so much. Like I'm a bit biased because that event had so little to do that I was finally able to finish all my battle roads. So that was nice. I got all the medals, I did all that, but it's kind of funny when an event is so light that you're just doing side stuff or we're
Right.
working on the other stuff.
Because then, okay, well, now, if they do that again, what are you going to do to keep yourself busy for the next set? See, that's the thing.
Knowing me, I'm probably gonna farm tomes even if there isn't a tome event, or just I don't know, or I might farm ethereal serpent myself. Like there's always something to do. But yeah,
He's a
I
good
guess
choice.
for me at least, for you, I don't know. There's not always something to do past some point, right?
I've never hit the ceiling. I've come close. I've come within, I want to say, like 110 duplicates of monsters from hitting the absolute ceiling, where I would have had every possible farmed unit awakened and everything leveled. Like that is the closest I've ever gotten. Like at that point, I had everything ranked up to where I needed it. You know, and that was before rank 6 came into play. So it was like it's like Lalia brought up a good point. It's like maybe they're watching, some of us on the top end because they don't want people to hit the ceiling. Because when I do hit the ceiling, that's when I lose interest. That's when I'm like, well, I'm gonna go play something else now, and I'll maybe I'll check back in on this afterwards. But they've
Mhm.
never let me hit the ceiling, so I'm just gonna keep trying. It's a really bad game of cat and mouse because if I get the ceiling, I'll probably quit, so they can't let me get it. But I don't know. Maybe one day they will. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, you make a good point there. They're probably to some extent monitoring it, like because yeah, in that extent, they do want to keep their most high scoring ones busy.
Oh, they also mentioned Dragon Fest as well. I don't know when Dragon Fest is coming out. I know that was sometime. I feel like that was sometime way after the half anniversary though. But I mean, that's another contender to be dropped on us at some point in time because I mean we don't have a set timeline. Like Dimensional Dragon's an interesting unit. I I definitely am big on dragon units. I would absolutely invest in them. But
Yeah.
oh, man, I mean, there's a lot of good content that we don't have yet. That well, I don't know how I feel about the next trial. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Orochi. I got that thing done. I got the dragon, and then I got out. But I know we're getting at least we're gonna have one more trial at some point, and then Japan is getting ready to drop the third trial of that series, which I don't know if we know what unit that is yet, but I don't know. I was never. I don't like content where you go in, you get it done, and then you can definitively say once you have like the piece of gear that's attached to it and you max awaken the unit, well that's it. Like I could have we could have used like an extra shop or something extra for it, even if somebody had said, well, if you do a little bit more of this later on down the road, those tokens are gonna you could turn them in for something else or but instead it's just like, well, you max awakened Orochi, you re-rolled the sword, you got a decent roll on it. You don't have to ever touch this again. It's like that's such a waste.
But is that really such a bad feeling? Like, I mean, with all there is to do in this game, the fact that some of the content actually ends, because there's going to be new people. Ideally, there's always going to be new people, right? And depending on when they join, they'll see all this content and they'll see like three different trials to do, maybe as filler on their spare time. And I don't know, like I definitely see your point too, but I definitely value that some of the content does end sometimes because I don't know. There always I think there will always be enough things to do in this game where the fact that one trial ends might be okay because
Hmm.
when Vis Major's out, then you might want to focus on that trial anyways, and then when the third trial's out, you might want to focus on that trial anyways. So
You make a good counter argument because I mean I've played gotchas where I came in as a new player and there was like 25 different things to do and I had no idea where the fuck to even begin. It's like what do I do? Where do I go? And it's just like wow, this sucks. And then I mean here uh, it's true because I mean I don't have to worry about there never being something extra to do because they generally provide something. So when I do, I think of like older games I used to play where if I finished out some content, well, that's like 20% of the game that I'll never play again, and they're not going to ever replenish that. But here it's, I mean, I already mentioned there's two more trials coming at some point, so I'll just have another, 5 or 6 weeks of trying to grind those out at some point, maybe even longer. So yeah, fair point. It's as long as I guess as long as it's being replenished, I shouldn't be concerned about it. But if they stop replenishing it, then there's a problem. Then there's like, okay, this is not good. We need to do something here. They need to really bring something in. But for people to just check off a couple of things like battle roads, like okay, check, Orochi, check. That's not a bad thing because I mean they're going to bring more battle roads in down the line, and I don't know of anything. I don't know if they're doing a Battle Road 9 yet. I haven't heard anything for that, but I'm sure at some point they'll expand upon that since there's rank 7 in Japan.
I'm like, how much more could they push the fucking battle roads? They're already getting us to face S units. If they had a 9, they're getting us to face demon lords. So I don't know. Like one of them's gonna have Dragon Lord Trooper, one of them's gonna have Zoma. I'm like, just how much further can you go with these fucking battle roads?
Oh, it can get insane. I mean, I've watched games where, if a game goes on long enough, they'll keep throwing harder and harder content at their dedicated players, especially Japanese, because they can do that. They know how to keep tweaking fights. Like if you to take a look at another Square Enix game like Final Fantasy 14 and some of the encounters in that game from when it first started to where it is now, nobody 6 years ago would have even thought that some of those fights would have even been mechanically possible, but you'd be surprised what they can do to just kind of keep piling on. So, I mean, if they really wanted to, 3 years from now, we could be on like Battle Road 12. It's just they would figure out a way, and we would be hitting our head against it. And as Nox says, JP now has 35k CP stages. So, yeah, there you have it. That ceiling is just going to keep going up and up, even for some of their more technical fights.
Yeah, I just wonder what that means for new players. But I mean, I guess they've always got to be increasingly more generous with their new player system, and the power creep's gonna like yeah. But
It's
uh,
tough. It's tough because I mean, it's like you said for new players, but at the same time, could you imagine how well a new player's going to do if they manage to get Nocturne? Like he's like an absolute nightmare. He's like super high end powered. So if somebody gets him, whereas back when we first started, the strongest units we had were like WK, a normal KM, and if you're lucky, you had like Dark Lord or True Lord, and now it's like you could have gotten Estark or Zorro and all even Juliante. Well, I feel like with her getting her skill blossoming and some of these other guys, they're going to be really really beefy. So maybe skill blossoming's also good for the newer players too, because if they do get some of these units, they're not going to be as SOL as we are. Because I mean, how many people actually use Squidzilla? Like, not a lot. I mean, I used it for S-Stark just because I knew he's getting the blossoming, but people are going to be able to actually pull on some of these S units and be like, okay, if I put some work into him, I do the skill blossoming, he's going to be good. As opposed to, I hate this thing, I wish he was takoyaki, and he's going to sit in my box for all eternity.
Oh, speaking of skill blossoms, one of the things that I'd say I'm pretty disappointed in is the rate at which these blossoms are coming out. Like, you got to think how much time has passed, how many units there are in the game, and how slow they're doing these blossoms. Killing Machine hasn't gotten a blossom yet. There are many more S ranks in the general pool that would desperately need a blossom that haven't gotten one yet. So I don't know.
So
I
let's
feel like they could
see.
be a bit faster on the blossoms.
I think there's what about 40 blossoms total, and I could be wrong, could be less than that. And in Japan, what would you say if you had to guess, like 230 units maybe right now?
Maybe maybe more, and like even just counting the relevant or semi-relevant ones that people might want to play with, like they're putting. Let me put it this way: they're putting new units out at a faster rate than they're blossoming old units, which I just don't know if that's good. I think they could definitely afford to be blossoming them faster. Even for Killing Machine, you'd expect Killing Machine by this point in Japan to have already had one announced yet, but I don't know.
Now, here's the thing about that where I think it may work to our favor is we may not get a skill blossoming the same way they did. They may just give us 40 units off the bat or how many Japan has at that point, and then we end up on the same path as them for new ones. Which, if they did it that way, That would be great because that would bring a lot more to the table as opposed to just getting like, well, here's 10 here, and then a month goes by, and here's another 10, and it's as you said. Well, they're bringing out like 2 to 4 units a month, and they're doing like 10 revamps a month at best, maybe even slower, and it's like a lose lose situation because you never catch up and you don't understand or know why they hand select some of those units because you would think, okay, well, Killing Machine needs a rework. He needs definitely. He's been one of the older units. He could use some more power to him, but they did Dark Lord instead. Like they took, and you think about this, it's like, well, why would they do Dark Lord over Killing Machine? Like it's just there's no rhyme or reason to it. And the
Yeah.
only thing I could think of is maybe it has something to do with popularity in Japan. In which case, when does Baramos get a skill blossom? Because he's very unpopular in Japan, and I would like a skill blossom for Baramos.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand that, and we might be a little bit biased, you and your Baramos, me and my Killing Machine, but we gotta they gotta look out for us too. These aren't the greatest units anymore.
No, I mean Baramos is definitely going to lose his shine the further we go. He did help out for S Stark. He made S Stark 4 turns very easy. Oddly enough, he took out the ads in one shot, and Squid did his little thing. I was like, you know what? Let me try out Squidzilla with this because I asked sixed him out of some nature CP spite just to get him up there, and I plussed up his ability a bit. Didn't even get to 10. He was like hitting even without defense down to S Stark, like 14, 1500, like without a defense down, and I'm like, if this guy gets to you, he fucking hurts. But it's just like he doesn't get to you very often, so he needs that
Yeah.
rework. He needs to be able to move.
Yeah. Do you mind if we go to the account roast? Because I got to take off in like
Sure,
10 to 15.
let's go ahead and get that pulled
So
up.
let's
Time
tell this guy what a
flies.
terrible player he is.
Well, let's go ahead and get Oreo's thing up. I'll let him know we're gonna do his as well.
That should be enough. 10 to 15 minutes, enough to make this guy cry, right? That's our goal.
That is our goal. So this is his guy here. You can see here he's got a lot of women in his background. He's overcompensating for something. Let's see, we got Deb in the background, Nira, Bianca, Giuliante, and I guess you'd call Lena a woman. I mean, she's more like a little girl with a pointy hat. He's ranked 19, so he hasn't finished out some of his rankings. He does have a lot of gold save up, though. I will give him that. He's got a decent amount of gold stockpiled. Okay.
Well, that's got to be a bad thing, right? Like,
I mean,
clearly he has it because he hasn't been doing battle roads, hasn't been doing probably rank ups and shit. I don't know. I'd have to see the other pictures too, but
yeah.
see which
Let's
was.
let's see what else we got here.
I don't know. Being a rank 19, having that amount of gold is kind of abnormal. I think the reason you have a lot of gold is you're pretty much done everything, but
Well,
for
yeah,
someone that's not,
I'm sitting at like 400 and something K right now, and I finally finished all the rank ups. I may do some skill ups for the arena because of there's gonna be. I haven't even fully set my arena team yet. I'm still debating, so I may have to work up some skills. But from what I can see here, I feel like he hasn't ranked up a lot of things to 6. I feel like this like his hard mode materials here. I feel like those were the ones that were given to him for the most part, but we'll see when we get to his units. He's got 2 orbs, 42 irises set, so he's got some stockpile. But on the other materials, the normal rank ups, the silvers, like this is this isn't going to get him very far. Like you need a stupid amount of these just to be able
no, yeah,
to progress. Like if I remember correctly, 5 to 6 on an S was like 20 silver orbs. I mean, I could be wrong, but and it's probably going to be the same for 7. So could you imagine wanting to just S6 or S7, one of those units he was showcasing to us? He'd only get one done. He'd only, with the amount of orbs here, he'd maybe get 1 or 2 out of the way for hero. Let's see what else.
yeah.
Okay, so here's his team. All right, so he's got only one S6, so he's got a Zoma. He's gotten a bunch of orbs into the account, so he's put 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 orbs total. So he's gained a total of 13 orbs right now.
Which is,
And
I don't know, think that might be kind of average. Maybe. Yeah.
That sounds about average. Here's the thing that I don't get. I mean, he's got Curio, he's got him to 2 Awaken, that's great, but at the same time, he's also got Emperor Slime. That's such a lose lose. I mean, it's like he had to pick one. I guess I don't know. I mean, if I like Emperor Slime, I haven't really played with Curio a lot, but if you had to choose between one who was a little less awakening, would you choose the hero or would you choose the guy in the slime pool because slimes have a bigger mastery bonus? That's a tough one.
I guess probably my roast on this screen, and maybe I just don't understand it, but I've seen people like, okay, you can take something to S6 or you can take something to S4, but why would you go halfway on every single unit and just take them to S5? That makes no sense to me.
Right, because here, I mean, realistically, he's got WK, he's got all the casters, he's even got Near up. I mean, if I was him, I would have put, the orbs. I probably would have S6'd in this situation since he's already got Zoma, S6 Dark Lord, and S6 Nira. And, you would have
Yeah,
WK as a leader and, build around that team. And the only other one I would say maybe S6 because he's a good unit wherever you put him is the Halberd, and because eventually you get Halberd to max awaken regardless. If you play the game enough, you got enough tokens. He is a max awakened S unit, so I would probably say that would be what I would get to 6 there. But otherwise, it's kind of like, well, did he really need to get Elena to S5? I mean, she has no awakenings. Did he really need to get Deb or Bianca to S5? They don't have any awakenings either. That's kind of like 3 orbs thrown away. Juliante is kind of weird because she's a good buffer, but at the same time, you really want one awakening on her to really max utilize her character. Like, I would have gotten her to S6 on this account if she had at least one awakening, because there's a lot of utility she could bring to the fight when she has one awakening. So, I don't know. I just feel like there was definitely some orb choices here where he could have pulled back on. I mean, I get the Dash 5 for Killing Machine because, you know, he was one of the first units. He's got one awakening on him, so he had the 3 move. That was a good play back then. But some of the newer ones, they just don't make any sense to me, especially on the heroes. What do you think?
yeah, I think the same. I don't know if it's like a safe play or a balanced play, but I just see an S6 Zoma, and then I just see something that could have been more S6s, but instead of choosing to take any one of these units to their full potential, he chose to go halfway with almost everything, which definitely isn't going to help him in the arena.
No, no. I mean, it definitely isn't. Let me take a look at the rest of his box. Let's see here. Well, he even got a Dread Dragon. Poor guy. Oh wow, he got four awakening on King She Slime, and I mean I can't blame him for not taking that up till I guess 4 or pushing that unit because there's just not. I've only seen one good use for King She Slime the entire time I've played the game, and that was Pyramid EX for push and pull manipulation just to kind of bypass the fight, and that was it.
Yeah,
That was it in a nutshell. Now, here's the kicker. I mean, he's only got Ragnar to A6, but at the same time, he didn't even fully awaken Ragnar. Like he only got him to 3 stars. That's very very weird. But I mean, at some point, he definitely did get Green Dragon to max awakening. So it's like he knows the drill. I mean, he's gotten Rava to max awaken, Umbra, Armful, King Bubble. I mean, he's gotten all of those up, but then for Ragnar, he just kind of, I don't know if he got busy or just didn't really put full effort in, but at the same time, that's one of his only 2 A6 units. It's very weird.
you know that makes very little like in general how this guy ranked up his units make very little sense to me.
Seems very hero oriented. I've noticed that. He likes heroes a lot, but at the same time, it's just kind of like half measures. Because here, this would have been not a bad choice, especially for Arena this week. I mean, he's not exactly a heavy hitter, but people aren't going to want to, go up against some of these tankier units. Like right here, He's got, Green Dragon Max Awakened. He's got Ragnar. He's got King Bubble. I mean, if he wanted to make an absolute troll team just to mess with people, he's got three of the core components for, tanky units. He could easily put something together from those. And Rov's tanky too, so he could really do like Rag, Green Dragon, Rov, King Bubble to be a pain in somebody's ass, and then just put in like F rank Ghost and call it a day.
Yeah, I see that as an option.
Oh wow,
I
he
do.
saved up a lot of scrolls. He's got a ton. He's got both his mid heal scrolls. He's never touched those. So that's interesting. I mean, he could definitely put one on F rank Ghost there. That wouldn't be a problem. I mean, he's definitely saved a lot of scrolls. He's the back end of his box. Yeah, there's again. It's just like he seems to be. He just kind of focuses on what he likes to. He's definitely made a pass at the S Dark banner because he tried with Black Dragon. He's got Black Dragon into Awakening, so I mean he knows what he's going for. Now here in the
Yeah,
back end, again, you've got Khan and you've got Slan. We've got a handful of days left to this event, and these two are still not max awakened or max leveled or ranked, and these guys would be good for that arena. Like Slan's a good unit to bring in. Khan wouldn't be a bad unit either, because with the whoosh damage and the sleep, Slan gets the extra movement and the bang attack. I mean,
yeah,
it seems like he started off strong back when he first started playing, because you've got he max awakened Green Dragon, Rav, all these other units, and then as the further he got into the game, it's just kind of like he got distracted because his Rag's only 3 stars, and now these two are. I don't know if he's going to be able to finish them before the event ends, but we'll definitely see.
yeah. It's just it seems extremely suboptimal. Let's see what else do we got there?
Okay, so he's definitely been pushing his B ranks. I mean, he's got most of them to 5. He's got some of these things leveled up, some of them aren't. Like Golem's a good choice. Condor, I would definitely get those leveled up. I mean, just from what I can see here, I feel like he's finished some of the battle roads. Not all of them. I mean, he's probably got a lot done to 7, but let's see. Okay, here we go. He's only got 47 medals, mini medals, so he hasn't really put much into the game. I mean, he's got a good amount of medals for the Medini medals. He's got enough for an orb if he wanted one. He's also got quite a few for silver if he needs to do anything. But otherwise, I mean, man, he's not really. He's missing out on a lot of free orbs, a lot of stuff there from the game. Because I mean, the story itself, you can get like 40, almost 40 something medals out of the story, and then some player rankings give you some. So realistically, he's missing like 80% of the, well, I'd say more like 70% of the game content for that.
I just don't understand because it seems, given the amount of S units he has and given the amount of orbs he has, it seems like he definitely at least spends some money on this game. But this is probably the least optimal account I've never seen. It's like none of these screens make sense. You look at screen
Right.
by screen and you're like, this doesn't make any sense.
Right, because I mean he's been playing for a while. There's even some older tokens in there. We pointed out the Green Dragon itself, and then here's more of his scrolls in the back end, and he doesn't really have a lot of books saved up. And again, he's in a bad situation regardless because, well, if he wanted to focus on the campaign more, but at the same time, his Khan and Slan aren't max awakened, so it's like he's in a bad situation because it's like, what do you do? Do you do the campaigns? Do you stock up on these materials, or do you only get the max awaken for those limited time A units to like 4? And that's, I mean, I'd probably get the awakening stat on the A ranks because they won't come back for a very long time, and they'll eventually do the reruns for the campaigns. But I mean, that's a heck of a bind. I mean, he doesn't have any A rank tomes. He's got a couple of the special ones. And now let's see here for orbs or for crystals. He's got 74, but how many? Let me check up here. How many do he have? So he's got 11. So
Okay, he's got a
realistically,
decent amount of these.
he's got a decent amount. I mean, he'll probably eventually get to where he can do an awakening level on a Dark Lord, and I'm assuming that he's going to do Zoma. I mean, he's got Zoma to S6, so if I was in his shoes, that would be the one unit. Since you put the most stock into him, you put two orbs into him, you might as well get him the one awakening.
But you got to remember who we're talking about here. This guy will probably put it on Dragon Lord or something like S1, to keep up with the theme of what else he's been doing.
Well, hopefully, take some of our advice to heart, as opposed to like, well, I'm just gonna put this on Baramos. Like, I mean, I won't fault you for doing that, but you've S6 Zoma, Baramos is S4. You should put it on Zoma. I mean, you should definitely put that on Zoma. And then let's see here. And that's, as you said, the mastery levels. I mean, he seems to focus the most on hero. I think the most you get for hero right now is rank 10, so he's pretty close to hitting the cap on that, or 11. Beast rankings could definitely go higher. I mean, all of these, I'm kind of cheating because I know what the caps are right now. I've hit most of them because you can get Beast
Yeah.
to like 34. You can get a lot of these up. There's definitely a lot of room to grow. And I know since we're short on time, I won't go through too much more of the box. But
Mhm.
realistically, just from seeing here, he's got a lot of stuff on the back end he can level up and grow. And for him, I mean, I would probably focus on just given everything else. Just, I mean, he's well rounded. So if I was him, I would get that beast rank done. I would probably push up, inorganic and dragon since they're the closest, and even that hero rank. I would just get that knocked out for him. But I don't know. It's like no rhyme or reason for some of what he's putting for the growth of the account.
Yeah, if I had to give like some closing advice to him, I'd say, everything you've been doing so far, in the future, just try to do the opposite. That's probably the simplest way to put it.
It's like, hey, but remember when you were like first playing this game and you were really excited and you liked this game and you weren't getting distracted by other games like the Sky or whatever you're playing. Uh, Go back to doing that because you were doing really good there. You had a strong start. You kind of had a really good grip on things, and it's just like one of those things where I've noticed if for a lot of these games you can't if you try and play more than one, it's like a kiss of death for either your wallet or something's going to suffer in terms of the game itself because these games are not meant to be played in like pairs or triplets or anything unless you get to like, where I'm at right now, I can go off and play something else. Am I playing a second gotcha? Fuck no. No, 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 no. But am I playing another phone game on the side just for fun? Because I can right now? Because, yeah, I mean, I skip ticket my rank ups. I'm lazy. I walk off. I'm good for, for now. And then I come back and I skip ticket some hard mode material missions. And that's my day. That's like, well, I'm done. I don't need battle roads. Battle roads are out of the way. I don't really need to do anything else. And I mean, I got the S Dark icon, got everything knocked out. I do have to do some, what was it? Do have to do some of the Mega Monster battles, a couple more, and re-roll the rope maybe. But other than that, it's just all about you just focus on one game. And it seems like he stuck with this game since the start. So I would just kind
Yeah.
of avoid playing other stuff. I'd focus more on this game here because you've got a lot of time and energy invested in it, but at the same time that energy kind of waned like a month and a half ago, and it's just like what happened. You were doing really good on the back nine, and now it's like, let Jesus take the wheel. I don't know what to tell you.
But I honestly think at least there is something he should feel good about. This is probably the worst account we've ever seen on the show, so that's saying something. It's something to
I,
take pride in.
I mean, if I have to grade this, which I started grading these, I'd probably originally, if he kept the same energy, I would give him a solid B for just because I mean, he hasn't really spent a lot of money into this from what he's told me. Not a lot put in, but from what we've seen, from what we've looked at, I'd have to give him like a C minus because it's like you just kind of swerved off the road there, buddy. Like what happened? I had one too many. I don't know, but it's just like yeah, because I mean, good start, and it's just You got to be. It's just like anything else in life. You like it, enjoy it. You got to be consistent with it because it's like what you mentioned with the top tier players. The top tier player quits for a week. Why would they come back? Because they've already missed so much. They've already missed 7 chances to farm resources or materials. But other than that, it's been our hour. I know you got to get ready to go. Thank you guys for joining. For anybody who is curious, Tropical is the new co-host. He will be coming back unless he quits the game, and then he'll end up as a missing poster on the fucking wall next to him and Wally. Oh shit! Oh, I forgot to put my glass on too. I'll put them on for the end of the show just to round out the show.
This
Fuck.
was fun, man. This show's a lot of fun talking, roasting people.
Oh, it's great.
It's
Plus, I
perfect.
mean,
Yeah,
we just talk about whatever. Like this week was a lot of the JP stuff because I mean, again, I'm super passionate about guilds. I don't know where they're going to take it. What are they going to do? What limitations they're going to place on it? I just know it's coming, and it's not one of those things, well, put on the whiteboard. Well, gee, golly, I kind of wish we had this. Maybe they'll do this someday. Instead, it's like, well, it's coming out. When the fuck do we get it? Which is a better bracket to be in. I would always rather be in the it's coming out, when do we get it bracket as opposed to the well, it's an idea. We'll see what happens. So, yeah. And
yeah,
when we do get the guild out, we'll definitely do it with the Discord community. Hopefully, there isn't like a limitation. We can have as many people as we want in there because I know we've got like 250 something people almost in the Discord. So, yeah, we've got a big community. We want to make sure everybody's housed in there and has fun and they're able to all participate and we don't inadvertently, blow up the guild. Fuck. But otherwise, on that note, thanks again, Tropical. We'll see you guys next week. Probably do this around, let's see here, what time was this for today? Maybe an hour 19 early for next week or so. Maybe we'll try to do it around 7 PST or somewhere around there.
I'd like to do it. Well, we'll see. Yeah, 7
We'll
PST
see.
might work too. But I'd like to do it 6 PST, but I don't know.
Sure.
We'll figure that
Yeah.
out.
Sundays are flexible. It's not like if anybody works on Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, on that
But
note,
yeah, and
guys, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and close out
oh,
for
sorry,
us.
just one last thing to add, and then you can close it out. Just in case anybody, enjoyed this, enjoyed us as co-hosts and want their account roasted, just message Kage for more info on how you can get your account onto the show. And yeah,
Yep, super easy. Just send me a bunch of screenshots. I'll get things together. We'll take a look at stuff, and again, we will dissect this. And be prepared. Be prepared. I don't pull any punches. I literally don't. I'm just expecting poor Oreo to be like, "You guys hurt me. Please vote on my stick figure artwork." But on that note, you guys have a good night. Take care.
night, take care.